Welcome to Victorious Living. Are you ready to unlock your full potential and experience the abundant life God has planned for you? We all face challenges, but on Victorious Living, we will equip you with practical tools and inspiring stories to help you live a life of victory. Let's prepare ourselves to learn something new today. Before we jump in, let's spread the victory. Share this video with someone who needs a fresh perspective. You were created for greatness. Let's dive in and discover how to live a life of victory.
Hi, my beautiful friends. Welcome to Victorious Living. Today I have an amazing guest with me, and we're going to know her in some time. Before that, I want to tell you, no matter what you're going through, how hard it is, God is with you, right by your side. And I believe that within this 20 minutes that we are going to spend with you, this is going to bring revolution. Listen to God carefully beyond our voice. Maybe something God is going to drop in your spirit that is going to change your life, because I believe one word from heaven can change your life. Welcome once again. Whatever you're doing, if you're doing something physically, if you can keep it aside and just listen to us, or if you're busy, if you're on your treadmill or something, you're only hearing the audio, keep listening. And welcome once again to Victorious Living. You're very important, my friend. You're so important that God gave His only Son. He gave His only Son so that you can have everything that is needed to live a godly life. So without wasting further time, let me welcome my guest. Gail, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. It's good to be here.
And I really want to welcome, on behalf of all of us, my precious life, Bright Star, and all of our audience, on behalf of everyone, I want to welcome you and straight to your story. Tell us about you, starting with your introduction.
Okay, so when you say that, do you mean like back from the beginning, or what are you talking? Like, what do you mean?
Tell us how you would describe, Gail, who you are.
Oh my goodness. My name means vivacious and joy-filled. And I would say that is me for sure. I am lovingly bold. I am a bottom line person, very results driven. I would say very matter of fact and logical and practical. And I love to dream and have fun too.
Wonderful. We had a wonderful conversation when first time we spoke, and very, very wonderfully, it's a divine direction. Sometimes I feel that how people come in my life. We were taking one class together, and I happened to hear your testimony, and I just knew that you were supposed to come to the show. Deep within, I knew. Then I asked you if you're okay with it, and here we are today.
Yes.
So what caught my attention that day was your testimony. Would you share with the audience how you got delivered from your challenges being a child?
Right. So you're talking about when I was up and explaining that.
Yes.
That was the first time that's ever happened, by the way.
Really?
I've never told that before. I've never said that story before. So that's interesting, the fact that you heard it and now I'm here.
Yeah.
And about to repeat it again, that the Tourette syndrome is what you're talking about.
Yes.
Right. So that I was diagnosed with Tourette's when I was 5, Tourette syndrome, because I would twitch and have tics. And so my mom took me in to see a neurologist, and I was put on calming drugs, Halidol and dopamine, at various increments and stages, I would say, for the next 10 years. I would go in every 6 months, get tested. Nothing really changed. And I also work with the cognitive part of the mind, the doing part of the mind for a living now. So I'm very aware that I solve problems differently from my parents. So they were seeing the Tourette syndrome tics, but then I also solve problems differently. So I was trying to be calmed down. And the story I told was when I was in 3rd grade, some tics that I had made kids laugh. And I was asked to leave the class on multiple occasions because they thought that I was trying to make the kids laugh, which wasn't the case. It was just it was a tough time, because not moving, when you have a tic, like trying to be still and not move it is like a really bad itch that you can't scratch. It's almost like I felt like I needed to move in this particular way. The irony of all of this medication that was supposed to calm me down is when I was 15 years old, I wanted the medication to calm me down permanently. And so 10 years later, I overdosed on the Halidol. I took 4 times the lethal amount of medicine because, well, I know you're familiar with this. When you set the timer to your life and you literally are watching the clock and thinking or wondering if you can make it for the next 5 minutes or minute or 30 seconds.
Yes.
So that was when I was 15, and I was dealing with I survived. I was dealing with another stressful time when I was 17. So I went back to my neurologist and I asked him if I could have some medicine because I was trying to get into college and it was really stressful. So I noticed the tics were coming back. And he looked me in the eye and he said, "Gail, you've abused your privilege to take the medicine because of what you did, but here's how you can handle it naturally." And he told me to stay away from refined sugar, take vitamin B6 or 12 to calm your nervous system down, get plenty of exercise, which is a natural dopamine release, and get 8 hours of sleep a night, and eat yellow and green vegetables.
Wow. I'm sure that it's going to be helpful for a lot of people who are watching today. Because we are so dependent on drugs many times, and that's the shortcut we take.
Yes.
Because there is a pain, just take a tablet.
Right.
And there is something happening, just take a tablet, you know?
Yeah.
We do that, and there are natural ways to heal ourselves. And I believe that our body is designed in a way that it heals itself if we give an atmosphere.
Agreed.
Yeah. So tell us about how you got delivered, like how many times, like how many months it took.
So from when I was like the 15, oh my goodness, you're talking about being saved, right?
Yeah.
That didn't happen until I was like 30, 35, actually. So
You grew up as a Catholic.
I grew up as a Catholic, so I was very familiar with going to church every Sunday and then the brunch afterwards. And I was very capable. I mean, I was making good money. I had all the outfits. I had all the shoes. I had a nice house. I had a nice car. I was going on great vacations. I was very capable.
And you did not need God.
No. Why? When life was really perfect without him.
Yes.
I was doing everything that I wanted to do. I even married the man of my dreams from college. Thought I wrapped that up with a nice little bow. I was really wrong about that. So we did get married, and I was like, okay, now I'm going to make myself a baby.
Oh.
And so was pregnant for like a week, miscarried. And of course I'm capable. So there's something I could do. I have to just pull up my bootstraps. I have to be more disciplined, try something I haven't heard about before. So we got pregnant again about a year later, and we heard the heartbeat, and then we went in a few weeks later to see what sex it was. And the nurse said, "Hold on a second, I'm going to go get the doctor." And I'm like, awesome, because the doctor's going to tell us the sex. And the doctor and the nurse come back and said that we don't hear a heartbeat.
Oh my God.
And this was at 20 weeks, 16, 20 weeks. I don't.
It's almost half the way.
Half. Oh, easily half. Absolutely. Easily half. And I went back home and I was like, clearly there's something I could do. There's something that I could have done differently to prevent this from happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's something I could have done differently. So I was like, all right, no drinking, whatever it was. I was like, well, maybe it's a work stress. Maybe I was in television. Maybe that work stress was contributing to the miscarriages. So artificial insemination, a year later, we got pregnant again and went in And it happened to be, I think, the same hospital room. And the nurse was like, oh, hey, good to see you. And ultrasound happened again. And this is where it went a little south. So she said, I'm going to go get the doctor again. And I looked over and I didn't hear a heartbeat. And this was 13 weeks. So I literally said out loud, and I'm like, what the F are you doing? Like, what is going on? And I screamed. I was like yelling. I was so mad because I had done everything in my power. So the door was ahead of me, and there was like a little changing area to the left. And this is the encounter that I heard where God said, hey, Gail, we can keep going for another 5 years, or you can just let me do this for you. You can let me control your life.
Yes.
And give you a baby. Thanks. And I was like, how is that going to work? Like, okay. I'm like, take it all. I have nothing left. I don't have anything left to give. So I walked out of there giving it all up. I had what I thought was a very powerful position at a television station, which kind of cracks me up because so I read an email like 2 weeks later after all this happened. I got back to work and I read an email, and it talked about some wealthy business guy in Seattle who quit his job and gave away Bibles. And he was homeless, but there were two things he had that I didn't have, and he was peaceful and he had joy. And I was like, how can a homeless guy be peaceful and have joy? And I started crying for no reason I could recognize. I just started bawling and I had to leave. I left the office. And then a week later, I turned in my resignation. I had no baby. I had no job. And people are like, what are you doing? And I said, God told me in Jeremiah 29:11 that I would be taken care of, that he has me.
Yes.
And I am trusting in that. Even though I don't understand how it's going to happen, I'm trusting that he will provide. They thought I was nuts. Like, it just sounded so ridiculous. And he did. I got pregnant a year later, and that boy is 19 right now.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful. This is such a heart-touching testimony. I'm sure that many of you, your prayers are going to answer. If you're praying for children, I feel that this is your day. You're not watching us by chance. Many of you are praying for pregnancies, and many of you are praying for your children. And today is the day, and now is the time. And at the end of the program, we are going to pray for you. Coming back to your profession, like you were out in the world, then how did you choose your area, how you're going to serve the Lord?
Thank you for joining us today, and I hope you were blessed by this message. Let's use this encouragement to spread hope and light, not only in our own lives, but also in our families and communities. If this message resonated with you, leave a comment and let us know how God is working in your lives. Stay victorious and be blessed.